today, and this vlog is books that we absolutely hate and could not stand. But because we have some nice people in our Giddy Goat crew, it's not going to be entirely book bashing, although there will be some of that. So I'm going to start first. It was really hard to come up with a book that I absolutely hate and dislike. One, because a lot of the books that you see behind me are still on my to-be-read shelf. And two, because I don't often buy books that I dislike. But this one, I kind of picked it up because it looked interesting and it looked like something I would enjoy reading, but I didn't even get past the first chapter. And it is, without further ado, Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. So this book is sort of like 50 Shades of Grey in that it started off as Twilight fan fiction. So, I mean, it pretty much reads probably like 50 Shades of Grey. I haven't read 50 Shades of Grey, but it's pretty much this guy who works in an office, and he's got his little office assistants. Obviously, I don't know much about it because I did not get past the first chapter. There's absolutely no character buildup. You barely know their names. Before page 12, they already start having sex. It is crude, definitely not at all flowery and nice and enjoyable to read. It's very rough, very crude. I am a big fan of cliche language for sex scenes. This is none of that. I think I tried, and it, so I was like, okay, fine, one sex scene right away. That's fine. Let's have some character build up after that. It did not come. They just kept having sex over and over again, and there was absolutely no character that I could enjoy or like or even connect with. And because of that, I ended up putting the book down and not reading it ever again. In fact, it took me a while to find it on my shelf because I didn't know where it was. If you look it up on Goodreads, it has some very colorful reviews about how bad it is. But yeah, definitely not one I would recommend to anybody. Unless you're into kind of rape-like scenes and very crude sex. Not my cup of tea. What about you, Tara?
So I know I've had a couple of books in my past that I just stopped reading because it wasn't interesting to me or it was just full-on gross or whatever, but I just forgot about them. Like, I put them down and never thought about them again, so I can't remember what any of them were. But I do think I should mention Twilight, which I kind of have a roller coastery relationship with, because when it first came out, I avoided it forever because I was like this. I heard people talking about it, and the premise to me sounded really dumb. And I read the back of the book, and I was like, this does not sound like anything that I would like. I don't know why this is like such a big deal. So it was like a huge deal. You remember when it just blew up. That's after that happened is when I read it for the first time, and I read it and I was like hooked. I couldn't put it down. I read all of them in a few days, so I was part of that crowd for a while. Where I was like, hey, okay, I get it. I get why this is a thing. And then culturally it shifted and people started to kind of be like, we never liked this. We hated it. It's terrible. It's really badly written. It's a terrible example of an abusive relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of am very easily influenced exteriorly. So I went along with that way, but I was like, yeah, Twilight sucks. Even though I had been one of the ones who loved it, So for a long time, several years, I was like, oh, Twilight's like the worst book ever written. I don't know why anyone loves that book. And then I decided, I realized that I wanted to get back into writing, and so I decided to go back and reread the Twilight series because I wanted to know why a book that has been purported to be quite bad, like badly written, poor character development, all of this stuff, could be so popular. And I reread it, and I did come to the conclusion that it's not very well written. The grammar, specifically the actual writing, is not the greatest, but even having this I don't really like this book, I think it's kind of terrible, I still got into the book. She still did something that made me intrigued and want to keep reading. So I don't exactly know. I never really like pinned down what it was. I think she just knows how to like write a compelling story, even if it's not necessarily like a great topic or good writing. And so I kind of am now in this like middle ground where I'm like, I recognize that it's not well written, but I can appreciate that she did something right that captured the minds of a lot of people. And so that's kind of my wishy-washy answer about a book that I hate and like also for various reasons. So yeah, that's my contribution. Emador, how about you?
All this Twilight and my computer started to die, so I had to run away and get my charger. Well, I have two. The first one, 50 Shades, I read it, hated it. My friend had read it, and she's like, here, it's good. And I'm like, okay. I'm reading it. I'm like, oh my God. That was a scarring experience. Another Twilight fan fiction. We have a nice little thread through our vlog. But the other one is Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Niffenegger. I think that's her last name. She wrote The Time Traveler's Wife, which I haven't read. I read Her Fearful Symmetry for a book club, and it started out okay. It's just weird. Like, the two main characters are this set of twins who have no personality, they have no interests, they have no friends. All they want to do is watch TV together and be together, which, as the sister of twins, I know is not true. And then it just, like, the aunt, so they're in this apartment because the aunt left it to them, and the aunt is, like, haunting the apartment, and, like, there's an upstairs neighbor with hardcore OCD, and one of the twins starts spending a lot of time with him, and the aunt's former lover is still around doing stuff, and then, like, it's okay, and then you get to the middle of the book, and then it gets weird. I'll spoil it for you guys. So, one of the twins, like, wants to do her own thing and separate and go to school, and the other twin is like, no, you can't do that, and so this twin is like, fine, I'll kill myself so you can learn your lesson, but I want this other guy to freeze my body so then I can, like, get back into my body and come alive again. Well, then she can't do that, and so the ghost aunt, who's, like, communicating with her former lover, they're like, well, I'll inhabit my niece's body and then live happily ever after with you, and then they do that, and then it turns out that the aunt is actually the twins' mother because the aunt has a twin, and, like, they did all these switcheroos on their husbands throughout the years, and it just got weird and a little icky, and I'm like, you know what, no. I don't have either book anymore because I gave them away. I don't want, those are my least favorite.
I think among most of us, we don't have many favorites, and again, as you can see, like, Emador doesn't even own her copies anymore because we're quick to just say we didn't like that book, let's take it away from our memory and never remember it. If you guys have any books that you absolutely hate, let us know in the comments below, or let us know if we mentioned one of the books that you absolutely love. Maybe you can convince us otherwise.
Sorry.
Or maybe you're like Tara and you have a book that you hate and love. Definitely let us know in the comments below. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check out our blog at thegiddygoat.com for more book reviews, movie reviews, and all sorts of random blogs about whatever we like. And subscribe to our YouTube channel for more vlogs from us. We will post once a month, hopefully this year. That is the goal. Until next time, bye guys.